Hey everybody, it's Patrice with Trendy Boutique, and I've been getting a lot of questions about how I do my chip bag tutorials. So today we're going to do a Victoria's Secret chip bag, and hopefully by the end of this tutorial you will be able to create your own. So here on the screen I have my chip bag template, and what I normally do is I just keep this template as a guide, and I just kind of insert my own squares into my screen. So you're going to go over here to your left panel, click on your shapes tool, and the first thing we're going to do is work on the front of our chip bag and insert a rectangle as close to the shape as we can. And this, like I said, the middle portion will be the front of your chip bag. So I have my design here that I'm going to place in the middle of this template, and I'm only going to use the pink portion to start out with. So in order to get this design away from the white background, we're going to do a trace. So you're going to come over here and select your little tool that kind of looks like a piece of toast and we're going to do a trace on the word pink. So you're going to select your trace area. You're going to draw a box around the word pink. And once you've done that, you want to move over here to your threshold, and you're slowly going to bump it up little by little and create a solid fill within the word as much as you can without overflowing into the middle part of the word. You want to make it turn yellow, and that looks about right. So in order to take it away from the background, we're going to do a trace and detach, which is different from just a regular trace. So once you've done that, we're going to remove the word. Okay, actually, we're going to put that back. Sometimes when you trace, you will see that some of your letters will automatically ungroup. So now we're just going to take this whole outside part away, and we're going to group our word together so that we can use the whole word in our chip bag design. So I'm going to take this word and I'm going to move it over to my designated area, and now I'm just going to resize it so that it fits within the middle portion of this template. And you can size it according to however you like. I just normally start out a little smaller and then go big after I get all of my elements in to my area that I'm working with. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert another rectangle so that I can put in, which would normally from the chip bag design that I used as an example would say Victoria's Secret in the middle. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to insert the person's name who I would create this for, and at this point I'm really just making up a name. So instead of Victoria's Secret, we're going to do Brittany's Secret. So I'm just going to type out my text so that I can change it around, make my changes, and then insert into my box. So we have Brittany's Secret, and the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to go up to my fill panel, and let's see, I think I want to use black. So let me just play with my rectangle first because I want it to be white. So that way, when I put my words inside my box, they'll show up in a white box on my background, and you'll see what I mean later. So I've turned my box white just by going up to the corner, selecting my color out of my fill panel, and I've moved my box to the outside so that you can see it because we're working with a white background right now and you really wouldn't be able to see it on that white background. So now I'm going to change my text black, and the outline of the text I want to be no outline because it enhances the text when you don't outline your letters. In order to change my font, I go over here to my font panel, and I'm gonna change it to something that's more appealing for this particular chip bag. Let's try this one. Don't really like that one. Let's see. I think I want to use Lucinda handwriting. I like that font. That's perfect. So now we have changed our font. I'm going to weld my letters. Normally you weld cursive writing to make your letters kind of flow together and they look better. So I welded them and then I grouped my letters, and now I'm just going to insert them into my box. And now you see what I mean by I wanted the black letters on the white background. And once we get our background inserted into the middle, you'll see. So I'm going to group these two together so that I can move them together. And I'm just going to resize this so that I can get it positioned inside that box just right. And you may have to kind of play around with it. Basically just kind of, make it look how you want to look. Use your imagination and just do whatever you want to do. Play with it, make it look however you want it to look. So now I'm going to insert my next line of text, which is going to be bridal shower, because again, this particular chip bag is for a bridal shower, or would be for a bridal shower. So I have my text, and now I'm going to change my font. See, I don't want to use the same thing. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, autumn and November. I like that. And you'll find that the more tutorials that I do, I'll use autumn and November and Magnolia Sky the most. I love those fonts. So again, I'm going to change my font black, my outline to no outline. I'm going to resize this and insert it towards the bottom of this portion of the chip bag. Resize this a little bit more, make it a little bigger. Now that I have exactly what I'm going to use for the front portion of the bag, I can kind of change this around a little bit. So now I have the front portion of my chip bag. Next, we're going to work on one of the back panels, which is the left panel. And so I get all of my backgrounds from Google. You can Google in anything. So what I want to use for the background for this is pink stripes, and I've found this cute little background. So I'm going to save it and then go back to my screen and open it. And I'm just going to go ahead and insert my background into the front portion of my chip bag since my design is done. So once I find my background, which I pretty much try to group all my backgrounds together in my colors folder, instead of opening it and then trying to size it, you can just click on it and drag it directly into your space, and there you go. And I'm going to move this to the back so that I can see my word because it disappeared behind there. And now you see that my words kind of overlap. So I'm going to kind of readjust these so that I can see that pretty little bow on my background. So now I've readjusted everything. I'm gonna move this up just a tad bit more so that you can see everything clearly. And there's the front of our chip bag all done. So next we're going to work on the side panels. And I find it easier to just go ahead and insert everything I have to do first. So we're going to do the left panel, and I'm going to use this heart right here in the other portion of my original design. So again, we're going to go over to the left side, and the first thing we're going to do is insert our rectangle for the left side of this design. Make it fit as close as you can. And let's see if I can go out just a little bit more without really going outside of my template. You don't have to. I mean, I'm very OCD, so everything has to line up perfectly. So now let's trace our heart using our trace panel. We're going to select trace area, select our heart, get as close to your heart as you can without going into the heart, and then you're going to just move up your threshold until you're satisfied with the way it looks. So I think that looks perfect. We're going to trace and detach and move the outer design away. And now you see that we have a little bit of the L and a little bit of the V. I'm going to ungroup. Well, it's already ungrouped. So we're going to move these little leftover pieces out of our space. Delete those. Highlight this and group, and be sure that it's grouped before you move it away. And then I'm just going to move it over into my space and resize it to fit. The next thing I want to do is I want to insert another text box with my rectangle. But I don't want it to cover the whole entire area, because when I insert my background, I want you to be able to see the background around the box, around this outer space. So next I'm going to insert my text. You can pretty much insert or use whatever you want to use. It really just depends on the type of chip bag that you're creating, whether it's for a birthday party, a wedding, a bridal shower, whatever the case. You just kind of freelance it and go with, the best thing that fits your occasion. So mine's just going to say, thank you for coming to celebrate with me. And I'm going to center this. So let me find, had a brain fart, y'all. Okay, here we go. Center. And I want to kind of coordinate with Britney's Secret. So I'm probably going to use the same font, but I first want to change my fill color to black, of course. Change my outline to no outline. And now I want to change my font to Lucinda Handwriting. And there we are. So I'm going to ungroup this so that I can resize it, group it back together, and then size it to fit my space. And sometimes you'll find that you may have to readjust according to the area that you have, because when you stretch out your font, it may look a little distorted, but you really just kind of play you really just have to play with it a little bit and see what looks best. I'm gonna stretch this out a little bit. And there you have it. I've got my text inside my box, and I'm going to just change the colors. And now I want to insert the background to match the front of my chip bag. So I'm just gonna select and drag. And this may not work because I think that bow is going to be in the way. So I'm just going to go back to Google, which is my best friend, and I'm going to find a pink striped background that matches the top portion of that other background, but just without a bow. So let's see if we can find one. And y'all, I'm telling you, Google is your best friend when you're creating these things, because you can Google pictures of anything and just insert it into your space. Here's one. This one's perfect. So I'm going to click on it, right click and save it. And since I have one as pink and white stripes, I'm just going to say this one is pink and white stripes with no bow. Just in case I decide I want to reuse the same color scheme in the future for something different. So we'll go back to our space, open up that particular color scheme, and we're just going to insert it by dragging. Remember, you can drag it over and place it wherever you like. And that didn't work, so let's try that again. Let's try that again. And my colors, and let me make this smaller so I can actually see what I'm doing. Drag, and there you are. Now my heart did disappear, so again I want to go to my background, right click it, and send it to the back of my picture. Now my picture has reappeared. And the same exact design that I used on the left, I want to use on the right. So again, the first thing I want to do is insert my rectangle so that I can begin working on the right panel of my chip bag. So insert my background. And now before I move on, I really want to go ahead and do the outside portions of the chip bag, which is the top and bottom. And that in turn will be the space that you actually glue when you assemble your chip bag. So I'm going to enter a rectangle for it. And I'm going to size it up after I have done both the top and the bottom. It's hard to get it perfect, but as far as for the height on the outer pieces, I normally go with 0.442. So I'm just going to type that in my box, click enter, and it resizes it for me. And now I'm just going to try to align these. And then I'll do the same for the bottom portion of the chip bag. Type in my dimensions, 0.442, enter, and it resizes. And now the only thing I have to do is just adjust my spot. And so I have those entered, and now I just want to go ahead and fill those with the same color that I used well, the same color that my font is in the word pink. So in order to do that, instead of searching and searching, you click on this little tube looking thing. You hover over whatever color you want to use and it fills it for you. So I'm going to use that same color for both the top and the bottom. You don't have to. You can always use a different color. It's just, again, it's up to you and your imagination and basically up to however you want it to look. So now we just have the right side of our chip bag to complete. And we have to enter our nutrition facts, which I don't think I have. So I'm going to Google and try to see if I can find nutrition facts for a bridal shower. It may be hard to find. Don't really see any. Let me change this up a little bit and put chip bag, and maybe I can find something that I can use. Well, I see lots of chip bags, but don't see any nutrition facts that I can use. Nope, so we may have to just create our own, which is perfectly fine. Because when you create your own, then you save it and you'll always have it to go by if you want to change it up for any other occasion. There we go. We're all set. So I think I want to do no outline. No, maybe I should change that. Let's change that. I don't really like that. I want to see the box around it. So let's do a black outline. There we go. So I'm going to highlight this and group it all together so that I can move it over to my space where my chip bag is. So I'm going to paste it, and I may need to resize it. I'm sure we'll need to resize it to fit in our area. Bring this in just a tad. There we are. So we've done our nutrition facts, and the last thing we need to do is our barcode. So I'm going to go to my file. I mean, just type it in so that way it'll be easier to find. And I generally don't like the way the barcode looks because it has this white background. So once again, we're going to do a trace and remove it from that white background. So Cody, go to your trace area, select your trace area. We'll go to your trace panel and select trace area, and then you're going to kind of move your threshold up a little bit until it's as yellow as it needs to be, but not too much. We're going to trace and detach, and this one actually ungrouped itself as well. So we're going to move the background away first, and then we're going to group our image, and we're going to copy and paste. Resize so that fits in your area. Uh-oh, let me go back. Didn't mean to do that. And we're just gonna move it. And there you are. We have created our chip bag. So I hope this was helpful. Sorry, I hope this was helpful for everybody. Like me on Facebook at Trendy Boutique. You can also like my page on Instagram at trendy underscore boutique. I have an Etsy shop. You can go there as well and leave your comments underneath. And I will see you guys next time.